Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a little bit, excuse me, since I've seen y'all. So let's see. Whole lot's been going on online and offline. Every time I wanted to go live during the month of May, we ended up with weather, thunderstorms, power outages, 2 tornadoes last week within a couple mile radius of myself, and so it's been hectic, and then I had a bit of a medical setback, but I'm on the mend again, so I'm very thankful for that. And hopefully we will be getting some good news soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to manufactured drama, outrage, and controversy. Is it a weapon? Is it a shield? Do we know how to spot it? And are you witnessing it in your own community? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and, oh, well, wait 1 moment. Let me just make sure that my audio is correct. One moment. Thank you for waiting, y'all. I appreciate it. So, okay, let's go. So, outrage, my 2 cents and my observations. There's been a little bit going on the last several days that it's like a cycle, and it all seems a little bit calculated. So, let's talk about it. Okay. The they conspiracy of them. I can't do anything right according to them. They'll take this and twist it around. I can't even tell you about my day without them saying something mean about me. They started a hate campaign. They are harassing me. They're bullying me. They're out to get me. Have you heard that in your community? Are my eyes and ears deceiving me? So you've noticed that someone you follow online seems to always be at the center of drama and is a self-proclaimed victim of all the things. Should you speak up, call it out? One factor that inhibits speaking up is our fear of the consequences. What will it cost me? Will I lose a friendship, get a reputation as a troublemaker, or be excluded from the group? Another factor is confusion about what we're actually seeing or hearing. Did I hear that right? Am I overreacting? Inaction in an ambiguous situation is partially driven by worry that our behavior will be judged by others. When facing an ambiguous situation, our natural tendency is to look to others to figure out what's going on. But here's the problem. If each person is looking to the people around them to act and no one wants to risk feeling foolish or embarrassed, the problematic comment or behavior may be left unchallenged, and the silence conveys a lack of concern or even tacit acquiescence, making it far more likely that it will continue. So this is something that, hi Chatty, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I know there's a lot of other folks that are much larger than us that are live right now. But I hope you find the information useful. And if you'd like to ask any questions, please do, or just make some comments on your own observations in the community over the last couple of days or the last several months, really. Please also do so either in the chat or after the video. So what is it exactly that we're talking about here? Outrage content. Drama sells and YouTube has an open market for it. Negative, hateful, mean, or derogatory or shady comments in a chat often instigates an immediate reaction by the channel host in the form of outrage. In other words, to defend themselves or those they align with, the host will either feign outrage or become actually enraged when confronted with an opposing view. The opposing view or opinion is oftentimes seen as hateful, mean, or spreading negativity. This is distorted thinking at best, or at worst is an outright tactic to further the conveyor belt of outrage for content. Um, and also at the end of this, I'm going to also offer some resources for some further research that y'all can do on your own to gain a better understanding on why this happens and the psychology behind it. Manufactured drama. The internet refers to manufactured drama as the deliberate creation or exaggeration of conflicts, rumors, or scandals to generate attention, engagement, or profit. This can involve using fake accounts or alts, fabricating stories, or exploiting real-life situations to stir up controversy and drama. Online influencers, creators, YouTubers, TikTokers, and even X-streamers. Some influencers create drama to generate buzz and engagement, such as feigning conflicts with other influencers or fabricating personal scandals to stay relevant. You can look up the National Public Radio or NPR. There's articles about this there. The spread of false or misleading information online can be used to incite anger, division, and to manufacture drama. You can look at the blog Medium online. They have a lot of good information on this, and so does the EFF organization. Attention and engagement. Drama can grab attention, encourage engagement, especially on social media platforms where algorithms reward high engagement content. Profit. Some individuals or businesses use manufactured drama to drive traffic to their websites, boost sales, or increase their online following. Control. Creating or exaggerating conflicts can allow individuals to exert more influence or control over online conversations. Personal gain. Some people might engage in manufactured drama for personal reasons, such as seeking validation, attracting attention, or feeling powerful. And that's something that I've seen I say a lot, but perhaps it's just the algorithm pushing the content more on my feed of communities that seem to thrive on that personal and that interpersonal conflict. A lot of creator upon creator drama, not commentary, but the outright tit for tat. Exactly, it is. It's validation, and it's a self-validation. The more people that you can draw into your audience, the people within the chat, as you're like, see, they did it to me again. They're talking about me again. I can't do anything without them nitpicking at it. That also generates the sympathy. And what's the one thing when somebody has empathy and feels for somebody else or for somebody that's going through something, and then when you're seeing it and you're hearing the emotion, whether it's forced or not, you as an participant in the chat or in the podcast or on the forum, you want to let your host know that you appreciate what they're going through. But if you're starting to, feel bad and get engaged in the cortisol of getting angry, so your chemicals start going and you want to do something, so you're going to give the positive feedback for negative behavior. Okay, Chatty says they need validation for a void they need filled in the real world, whether family or work, etc. Yes, and some of the resources that I'm going to provide at the end of the presentation go very much in depth into that. And they also will off the articles and the white papers will also offer ways that you can help people that get stuck in this perpetual victimhood, and to try to open their eyes. And you should call out problematic behaviors. What we end up saying is, though, that we'll get into that into the next slide, which is going to bring up the clip channels and then the out of context content. Let me reread. So this personal gain. Some people might engage in manufactured drama for personal reasons, such as seeking validation, attracting attention, or feeling powerful. Outrage, controversy, and the conspiracy. YouTube channels dedicated to chronicling the minute-by-minute scandals drummed up by the generation of YouTube stars, influencers. They even have an appropriate name: drama channels. Drama channels, also called gossip channels or tea channels, are not a new phenomenon, but they're growing in number and in increasing popularity. As the YouTube audience grows more robust, there are economic reasons for this. As The Atlantic reported in May, many tea accounts are monetized, and Social Blade, a social analytics platform, estimates that Tea Spill alone is earning $65,000 a month. At a time where kids legitimately want to grow up to be YouTubers, hosting a drama channel is a way to both earn a lush income and gain notoriety in a burgeoning community. YouTube news channels equals clip channels, commentary, and opinion-driven podcasts focusing on YouTube creators specifically. You can find more information on this article at Jezebel.com. Also, too, to go back to that, is think about in your real life, in your own world, in your own community, your own family, your own friends. If you see somebody that's down or is having a bad day, what's one of the things you might want to do for them? Send them a card. You'll send them a get well card. So how does that equate in the online world? Super stickers, super chats, a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App. Hey, here's $5, grab yourself a coffee. Or, hey, I'm sorry you're feeling down. Here's a couple bucks, take the kids out and get some ice cream. Which would seem like, well, that's a really nice thing to do. And I encourage people to do that. It makes people feel better. It makes them feel good for giving and the person receiving it. But when you see a cycle that every day this is exactly what the content is, not let's share about a topic, but let's talk about how I'm a victim, you need to take time as an audience member to remove yourself from that. When all you're hearing is, they're doing this to me, it's they, them, it's them, it's not me, it's them, it's not me, they are doing this day in and day out for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. Stop as an audience member, remove yourself, because you've already started to build that bias because of the parasocial relationship between chatter and host. Go back for a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks. Check out the commentary channels that are within context, not just a clip, but from beginning to end, where the problematic behaviors are being called out. Then go back and see if you can get a different perspective and see, you may just see how you've been manipulated for the empathy that most people have when somebody's going through a hard time. And understanding that, yes, sometimes people get their fair share of, 1, 2, 3 back-to-back life-changing situations or little things that pop up. But when it's the constant complaining about what they're doing to me, but for your own actions, would this be an issue? And that's something that we all need to open our eyes to across all the platforms and across all the communities. It's not just specific to drama, crama, LCU, consciousness community, or FE. Um, but it seems to be more prevalent in communities that discuss controversial topics. Okay. And if in case you would like to research this further, a nice place to start to understand the deeper aspect of why someone may want to manipulate their audience, there are some psychological issues that may be present, or this may be a personality trait. Huh? Yes, when someone has seen that victimhood garners sympathy, it can become part of their personality to be the one that needs protected. And that is something that unfortunately we are seeing across several communities, and it seems to focus on just like a handful of creators that are popping up, and they're also popping up across different platforms relative to their behavior. So be aware of that. You can check out Psych Central. There's the link if you'd like to screenshot that. The National Police Association. There's their link. The personality trait that leads people to believe that they are perpetually being victimized by the harmful actions of others for no fault of their own. There's an excellent paper on this, and it can be located at www.theswaddle.com. What is the victim complex, and why do people experience it? So there we are with that. I was hoping that maybe a couple of people might come in, and we could have a panel discussion. But I see, as I stated, that a couple of the larger channels have gone live. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Please leave comments at the end. And also, too, I have started a coffee community. If you'd be interested in that, you're more than welcome to pop over there. I'll be having more. It's where I'm going to keep more of my real life type of things, like the community service, volunteerism. I'm going to be starting a little shop. Instead of going back to having a website, I'm just going to offer up a couple of things that I make, if anybody would be interested. The shop itself's not set up yet, but it is going to be. But I'll touch more on that. And thanks, Chatty. I appreciate it. I will touch more on that in another stream, when we will be tackling, finally, 9 spring edibles, plants, and fungi to include recipes. Hello, we Frosty, you made it. I was just getting ready to wrap up here. Unless you have any questions or have anything you'd like to add in the chat, please feel free. But yeah, I just was going over my 2 cents on the manufactured outrage, the content, the controversy, and how it seems like certain creators interchange. Oh, that's okay, I'm just glad you made it. It's been a while. How they seem to interchange how they use their outrage. It's a shield, it's a weapon, it's a sympathy gatherer, and to drive it more home, y'all keep track of how someone can go seamlessly from speaking about trauma, especially personal trauma, right into drama. Like literally without missing a beat, it goes from, this was such a traumatic experience for me, regardless of what the traumatic experience was. I'm not going to bring up any specific trauma, but then literally on the dime, go, you see that? They're already in here, pissing around in the chat, trying to derail this discussion. That seamless transition, that's not acknowledging bad behavior in the chat. That it's to drive a different emotional response by the audience, to get the audience now angered. And what does that do? That perpetuates that, here's a Snickers. So online, what is that Snickers bar? That is it's the 199 super sticker that says, hey, cheer up. And it seems, I want to say it's gotten out of hand, but that would be an understatement, because now that there are the algorithm is really focusing on the outrage content, and it is getting pushed out to more people. As people fall off, it continues because more people are driven to it. And I think it reaches a point where it might be better just to take the beginning and the after sections of a problematic content, clip it, and then only discuss that portion of it and call that out, versus 2 hours of a whole stream. That way it pulls that victim status away from whom wants to consider themselves the victim. Okay. And victim is losing its gravitas, because there are people out there that are victims of internet stalking, to the point that they are in such fear of their life because they are getting nasty things sent to them. But when it's just because somebody's calling out your problematic behavior online, that's not making you a victim. Take some responsibility that, hey, listen, yeah, I've done some, I've said some questionable things, and perhaps I could have handled something a little bit differently. I'm going to do better going forward. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's focus on this content. Let's I'll take some responsibility for that. But it becomes 2 hours of, okay, let's review a review of a review of a commentary about how people were talking about me. And it's secular, and it's perpetual. Draw attention to what needs to be drawn attention to, and go on. And but if that's what works for you, and if that's what, like, if that's what people want to watch, well, okay. I'm just saying that look at the broader picture and step back so you can cut your bias, because you end up with your confirmation bias that will eventually turn into a normalcy bias, and then you will just expect this type of content all the time, and that's what you're going to be drawn to going to see. You didn't show the content. Oh, let me. Oh goodness. Oh, thank you, Wee. Chatty says the scribers that derail the chat, the mods, and the creator allows it. Exactly. Exactly. And it is up to the mods, in my opinion, but more specifically, it is up to the creator or the channel host to try to maintain focus on what needs to be discussed. And you see, and honestly, this is not just my opinion. This is the opinion of people that study this. Live streaming is what is perpetuating this. Live streaming with audience participation is fuel for this beast. Because in true crime or drama and tea channels or gossip channels, they do videos and maybe host a once a month live stream for their audience, for their members or for their subscribers, to talk about the tea or the gossip or the drama. It's not about them. It's about the bigger picture, or a particular celebrity or a particular larger YouTuber that is actually involved in some type of scandal, or some problematic behaviors have come out that has crossed the line into the online sphere. Let's, for example, back in the day, Onision and the Paul brothers had some issues, the issues that were going on with Mr. Beast. Heck, even back in the day with Drama Alert, more commonly known as Keemstar, he used to hang out in places that were extremely problematic. And this was back in the mid 2000s, especially in the debate sphere. He liked to manufacture the drama there. And you see these same things. Oh, thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. I'm so glad we've got people coming in today. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. But it's important, this month I really wasn't online because the whole month of May has literally, Pennsylvania was taken and moved to Oklahoma between the tornadoes, the derecos, the torrential rain. 7 inches of rain in 6 days. Right now, if you hear some weird sounds, it's my sump pump, because my underground spring has sprung and is coming through my basement. So that's crazy. The tornado that was across the way snatched shingles off my roof, which caused all that rain to come through. I'm going through with house things, and then I have had my medical setback. So I was trying to go live, but power was so sporadic, and that comes with living rural. So I apologize that I didn't get to have this stream sooner. Back in the day when we thought Drama Alert was a chaotic, as in would get, oh, we were so innocent. Yeah. I was, I was a Leafy supporter back in the day, and he would say some outrageous things, but you got to think, this was 2006, 2007. You know, now it's a case of know better, you do better, because the culture shifts. Now that the culture is shift, there's some things that we may have been tee-heeing about that, well, no, we really don't want to be doing that. But also, too, you got to think of the age. I mean, you're talking 19, 20-year-olds versus now 40-year-olds. You don't want to be having that same behavior. You need to mature within yourself. You know, there's so much arrested development as a result of the internet and the social media aspect of it. Monchichi, good to see you as well. Jen A, if I didn't say hello, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Leafy Rocks. I mean, goodness gracious, I was there commenting. I loved his gamer streams when he was, giving his commentary. And that's back in the golden age, and that's what it feels like. I miss the forums. I miss Usenet. I mean, I started out in 1988 on a Usenet forum. Okay, I've been here for a long time. I'm not 25. I'm not 30. I'm not 40, and I'm not 50. I'm knocking on 60's door. Not that close to 60, but I'm getting there. But so I've seen it. And yes, at times I've participated in it. However, I guess because been there, done that, you see the behaviors a little bit more. And when you see a new generation getting sucked into certain behaviors, you just want to reach out and just shake the computer and be like, no, 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 no. You're falling into it. You're falling for the trap, or you're being conned. And it's frustrating because when you advocate in the real world for internet safety for children, and while also maintaining access to educational materials and things that are entertaining, there's a balance. But I am a strong advocate for free speech. But I'm also, you have to be responsible for what you say and understand what crosses the line either into civil liability or criminal consequences. And it's being blurred, and people are allowing it to be blurred. And speech that you hate is not hate speech. Speech that makes you feel bad isn't bullying. And that's a whole topic for a whole nother day. That's right. Your goal should always be on the side of truth. And this, well, it's his truth and her truth and it's my truth. No, there is one truth. You have your perception of what's going on, and perception is reality. It's almost like possession is 9/10 of the law. But when you're going to have your truth and when you're going to have the truth, you need both sides of that coin. But truth can also grow. What was true yesterday may not be true today because more facts become present, or you see something a little bit differently because you've listened to somebody else. Not everything will be black and white. The internet's not black and white. But human decency is being eroded, okay? And people are like, are so, oh, the AI, the AI, the AI. You need to understand that what now everybody is just now being so enthralled with the entertainment side of the AI of like, I can create songs. I can take a vision I have in my head, write it out, and let the the program try to create my vision for me, computer learning has been around for a very long time. The 60s that I'm personally aware of. And AI as we know it has been crawling the internet for decades, and it has been exposed to the most debauched, debased things of human nature. And social media and if we're allowing the AI to program the algorithm, it's not going to program it to show you the good that goes on out there, or the everyday conversations in a podcast, the gardening, the nature, or just conversational type live streams. It's going to push you to where there's going to be the controversy. The human element is being taken out of so much. So therefore, what we end up with is the machine. And the more you see that you're being pushed to the controversy or the chaos or the to put yourself as the victim through digital exposure. There's also called something called digital self-harm, and that's a topic I briefly touched on several years ago, but it's where people actually take on an alternate personality where they will troll themselves. They will make it seem as if they're getting threatening emails, or they're having nasty things being said in the chat about them, and just they're being harassed, or they're being forced into this and so forth, so they can come online and discuss it and be like, they're gonna push me to do this, or I can never get a break. That is something that happens. It's not self-trolling in the way of making it look like there's a jerk in your chat, but it's called digital self-harm, and it's seen among teenagers a lot. But now research is showing that adults are engaging in this type of online behavior too, to generate traffic to their feeds, to engage for the clicks and the views and the so forth. So, be aware of that. Oh, Jen, I'm right there with you. Oh, Monchichi. But, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's a little bit after 12, and want to keep this under an hour. So if you've enjoyed what I've had to talk about, share it out, leave a comment, and all that stuff. And as I said, I've went ahead and got myself a little Ko-fi page now, where some of the things that go outside of the YouTube allows to be spoken about, I'm probably going to put over there. And as I said, I'm also going to have some of my personal artwork and more things about the things that I do for like volunteering and my charitable works. I'm going to put over there because it's more of a limited audience. And yeah, so there we are with that. I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope to see you in the next one where, as I said, we're going to talk about some really cool things with nature, healing, medicinal properties, where we're going to have authoritative sources, so it's not just going to be my opinion. And I hope to see you in that next live stream. Oh, wait a minute. Hi, Paula. I'm so glad that you came in. Big shout out to you. Paula was my first supporter on Coffee, and I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. And as I said, if you have anything you'd like to discuss or bring up for the next live stream, do so in the comments or give your thoughts in the comments on the replay. All right, guys.